It's my pleasure to introduce Jenna Banks and her session, Unleashing the Power of Self-Love. Jenna is a speaker, author, and host whose work has been featured in media outlets from Forbes to ABC. She's been following her passion for helping women live their fullest potential through her writing, speaking engagements, and the Jenna Banks Show, which can be streamed on Binge Networks TV, Roku, Apple TV, Google Play, and Amazon Fire TV. Welcome, Jenna.
Is my mic working? There we go. Oh my gosh, it is such an honor to be here with you all today. Have you had a great last couple of days? Yeah! Woo! Now everyone should have a copy of my book, I Love Me More, in front of them, courtesy of our friends at Global Payments. You know, I wrote this book during the pandemic, and it was a book I knew I had to write. And it's truly so surreal, and it almost brings me to tears to be here with you today and to get to be in this moment in my book journey with you right here, right now. But you might be wondering, I love me more. What does that mean? To answer that, I'm going to take you back to a moment in time when I met with my friend Emily for dinner, shortly after breaking up with someone I was really in love with. I don't understand, she said. Why would you break up with someone you are still in love with? Without hesitation, I confidently said, because I love me more. Emily is looking at me flabbergasted. What do you mean, I love me more? She said. This answer came so naturally to me, it was almost hard for me to explain, but I tried my best. I am my highest priority, I said. If I'm not going to feel valued in a relationship, then I don't hesitate to choose myself and put my needs first. I'd rather break my own heart and suffer the temporary consequences of that than not value myself enough and stay. She's still looking at me confused. But you still love him, she said. I don't understand. Are you sure you've thought this through? Trust me, my point of view didn't come to me overnight, but over many experiences and many hard-fought internal battles spanning over my entire life. You see, as much as I loved him, I still put my needs and my happiness first in my life. I really did all I could do to communicate my relationship needs to him, but he still didn't treat me in a way that showed me that he valued having me in his life. I was pouring so much of my time and my energy into helping him with his life and into growing our relationship. If I'm not going to get what I need in return, I need to value myself and end the relationship. A few weeks later, Emily calls me to tell me she'd been given our last conversation a lot of thought. I have to be honest with you, she said. At first, I really couldn't understand where you were coming from. But I spent a lot of time thinking about what you said over dinner that evening, and it finally clicked. Suddenly, I Love Me More made so much sense to me, almost like in a third-party kind of way. Like, I am a separate person looking back at me in the mirror. I love me more. Once this concept clicked for Emily, it changed how she viewed her own situation. Now, she'd been dating this guy, James, and she realized that the way he treated her didn't make her feel valued by him. He would constantly send her these cryptic text messages that she had to try and read into. He didn't make her feel like a priority at all. And she found herself constantly agonizing over where their relationship stood. She realized she wasn't valuing herself by putting up with this kind of treatment. I Love Me More gave her the strength she needed to finally call the relationship off once and for all. And thank God she did that, because not even a year later, she met and fell in love with an absolutely amazing person who treats her with the same value she finally gave to herself. I Love Me More was an entirely new concept for my friend Emily. Perhaps it's a new concept for you too? Now you might be thinking, I'm not on Match.com or out there in the dating scene, Jenna, so this is all well and good, but this doesn't apply to me. Okay. Well, have you ever been at a job where you felt unvalued or unappreciated? Or how about a friendship? Or maybe some type of organization where all of a sudden you think, this is not what I signed up for. But you stay anyway because you say to yourself, I'm not a quitter. I don't want to make anyone feel bad. Or could be worse. I've known this person since high school. Family is forever. And so you stay anyway, even though you leave feeling diminished or perhaps completely drained afterward. I Love Me More doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. It applies to all areas of our lives. Just like my friend Emily connected with I and me as a separate person looking back at us in the mirror, we are each in a relationship with ourselves. And it's the most important relationship we've got. Yet most of us aren't even aware of this. We didn't learn this growing up. Nobody taught us this in school. But let's stop and think about this for a second. Haven't there been times when you've tried to tell yourself something to give yourself a pep talk? Maybe you tried to encourage yourself, said, just one more hour. You're almost at the finish line, Jenna. You got this. Or haven't you ever been hard on yourself for making a mistake? Perhaps said to yourself, God, I'm such an idiot. Whether we're nice or a bully to ourselves, our relationship with ourselves has the biggest impact out of any other relationship of our entire adult lives. We have to be consciously aware of this relationship, ensuring that we are treating ourselves with kindness and taking care of our needs. It's up to us to prioritize our well-being. Let's put it this way. If it's not your responsibility to put you first, whose responsibility is it? When you think about it, it makes so much sense, right? Then why do so many of us, women especially, have such a hard time when it comes to practicing self-love? Perhaps it's because society seems to teach women that putting ourselves first would be selfish. Bred to be the nurturing ones, we've learned to put everyone else first, abandoning ourselves and our needs along the way. I hear this all the time. Jenna, self-love sounds selfish to me. And there's a lot of research around this too. Psychologist and life coach Vanessa Scotto says, not knowing the difference between selfishness and self-love is a prime cause of exhaustion, anxiety, and unhappiness. So I want to set this record straight with you today and review with you the difference between selfishness and self-love, okay? Now, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the definition of selfish is to be concerned excessively or exclusively with oneself, seeking or concentrating on one's own advantage, pleasure or well-being, without regard for others. That's the key point. On the other hand, according to the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation, self-love is a state of appreciation, that comes from actions that support our physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. Self-love means having a high regard for your happiness and well-being. Self-love means taking care of your needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. Self-love means not settling for less than you deserve. To practice self-love doesn't mean that all of a sudden you lose all concern for others, or that all you now care about are your immediate needs. That would indeed be selfish. Self-love is about valuing yourself and having a high regard for your happiness and well-being. The funny thing is, the better we take care of ourselves, the less resentment we have toward others for not giving us what we give to them, and the more we have to give to our jobs, our families, our communities, and the world. If anything, self-love is the opposite of being selfish. It's like when you're on an airplane and they tell you to be sure to put your own oxygen mask before helping others. They're reminding us we can't be much good to everyone else if we're not getting enough oxygen ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves first. It's what sustains us. It's our energy.